Hello, everyone. So, this is my third time trying to go live, and I use Switcher Studio, and so that's how I have it set up. And for some reason, it keeps cutting me off, and I don't know why. So, we're going to try this again. Hopefully, this will work. All right, I see myself on here now, so hopefully, this will work. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Amanda Waldhart, and you're here with Amanda's Inspiration Station. Thank you. Normally, I do not come on Tuesday evenings. I usually come on Monday evenings, and I've started that about a month and a half ago. However, it's becoming where it's becoming a problem. I'm having a hard time on Mondays, and I keep having to either cancel or reschedule due to my family, different things that are going on with my family's schedules. So I may think about, and I'm going to think long and hard of when would be a better time for me to go on. Evenings kind of seem to be crazy for me. So I'm starting to think that evenings are not the best time for me. So I'm going to think long and hard. I will let you know. I'll keep you all posted. It may be during the day, and that may work better for some of you, and then it may not work better for others of you, which if it doesn't, I'm so sorry, but you can always watch the replays. So today we're going to make one of each of the Marches paper pumpkin kit. And then there was a free stamp set in the Marches paper pumpkin kit. So I have created 2 cards using that. So we're going to do those as well. So give me just a moment and I'm going to switch you guys down. So we'll go ahead and do that. So here is March's paper pumpkin kit. And if you hop on, I would love for you to say hello. If you're watching the replay, I would love for you to also say hello. I always go back and look. If you have any questions, please ask. And I would love for you to like my video. That always helps. So thank you. Yeah. Okay. So this is the March's paper pumpkin kit. It comes in every month. If you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, it is sent to your mailbox, and you have until the 10th of every month to subscribe to the Paper Pumpkin kit for that month. And then usually you receive it a week and a half afterwards. Okay. And in the link below, if you're watching me live, I don't have it right now, but I will have it when I transfer this to YouTube in the link below. Otherwise, for you to sign up or subscribe for Paper Pumpkin, or you can stop on over at Amanda's Inspiration Station .com, and you can click shop now in my store and you can click on Paper Pumpkin. What's nice about Paper Pumpkin is if there's a month that you think that's not, the sneak peek isn't really my thing, or maybe I had car troubles and I can't do it this month, you can always skip a month or two. So it's kind of nice. You don't have to cancel. So let's hop on into Paper Pumpkin. And this kit here is called Beyond the Horizon Paper Pumpkin Kit. And we're going to make 3 cards here. And then we're going to do these 2 cards, which I can't wait to share with you. So there was a free stamp set. And this is the stamp set that came in as a free special. So it came with, well, here, let me see. I keep saying a lot, and I got to stop doing that. All right. So this is, I hope you can see this better. Let's kind of get the glare off there. It says, best wishes, celebrate, time to celebrate, and sending you birthday wishes. And then it had the flowers and the leaves and then the center of the flowers. So I made this card here that says celebrate. And I just added a few extra little pieces, which I'll go over with you. And then I also did this one here that's best wishes. Now, I think these turned out really good. I think this could be a birthday. It could be a congratulations card. Let's celebrate. It could be a wedding or a wedding anniversary. So with that said, we'll work on those last. Let's do these cards first. So let's start with this card first. These card bases are super pretty. They match the New Horizon Designer Series paper that is in our January through June mini catalog. So I am going to show you the few things that came in this paper pumpkin kit. So this paper pumpkin kit comes with 9 cards, 3 of each design. Each of the envelopes is decorative and different. It came with an ink spot, which is Misty Moonlight. Now, this is an ink color that is leaving. So if you don't have this, there are a few items still left of this. If you want to stock up on it, you can head on over to amandasinspirationstation.com. Then it came with this sheet of like, they almost look like the iridescent rhinestones. I love them. I think they might be. Came with the mini glue dots, which I never use when they're on that sheet because I like them when they're on a roll. Came with this stamp set that we're going to use and then some dimensionals. All right, so let's go ahead and fold our card base. And I'm going to use my bone folder to varnish in that crease. And we're going to, I have all the pieces already punched out and ready to go. So I'm going to place this little piece right here. I'm going to use my Stampin' seal here, and I'm going to place it right underneath like that. Then we have this cute little like circle thing, and we have the little greenery. So I'm going to use my green glue. I like green glue. I know some don't. That's okay. I like it. I'm going to just do a little dot, not a lot here. And I don't need a lot because I'm going to be layering it, so it's not like it's going to go anywhere. All right, so I'm going to place that right there. And then I'm going to also place this right here. So I'm just going to use a little bit of the green glue here as well. But I'm only going to kind of do the center because that way if I, it'll stick because I'm going to use this over top of it. But this way it dries clear too. So then I won't see it. All right, so we're going to do a little note, and I just pulled out my big ink pad. And let's get out a little note. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to stamp that right across this little white piece. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my little dimensionals that they came with. And I'm going to place that right across the base here, going up a little bit higher so you can still see that little striped piece that went to the card. So there is our first card. I really do like these. It is a lot more of a simpler card for me, but sometimes that's what we need. It's just a simple card. So it's kind of nice. Hello, Carla. How are you? Thanks for joining me. Hi, Sandy. How are you guys? Thanks for joining. All right, so now we have our first card done. Let's go to our second one. That one was really easy. I feel like this paper pumpkin kit is actually very easy. A nice thing about actually the paper pumpkin kits is because maybe you're a beginner stamper, or maybe you've never stamped before and you just want to learn how. These are great because everything you need is right in this box. All right, so I'm going to take this little evening evergreen piece and I'm going to lay it flat, right like that. Then I'm going to lay this it almost looks like Calypso Coral or maybe Flirty Flamingo. And I'm going to place that across on the top. So it's kind of on the center, and then we have this on the bottom. And then we're going to put this one kind of over the top of the line between the two of them. And I'm just using my Stampin' seal here. You can use whatever you want. And I'm just going to go like that. And then we have our two little leafy things, whatever you want to call them. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to use my green glue for these because I can just do a little dot on each of these top leaves. And then we can just put it down. So I'm just going to place it like that. And the green is on the right side. And then the yellow one is on the left. Remember, just dot, not a lot. All right. Although I'm having a hard time picking that up. All right, so now I'm going to bring this down a little bit lower. I'm going to kind of angle it off to the left a little bit. And then we literally have this little piece right here that we're just going to stamp thanks on. So I'm going to bring back my little ink pad here. This is how easy some of these paper pumpkins are. It's really kind of nice. Once I'm done with all three of these cards, I will come back and we'll add some embellishments to it. So let me, I keep losing this sheet already. I'm not used to it being this small. Usually our dimensional sheet's a lot bigger than that. So, all right. So let me pop this off. And then we're just going to place this over the top right here. And there, now you have our second card done with this matching envelope. How cute is that? All right. So now let's do our third card, and then we'll get to the 2 cards that we're going to make with the free stamp set that I absolutely loved. All right. So for this one does call for a little bit of ribbon. So this is going to be fun. First of all, we're going to use this like old olive little piece here. And I'm just going to use my little glue here. And I'm going to place that. And actually, you know what? I need to put this white piece down first. So I'm going to do this first. I'm going to place this white piece down like this. Just like that. And then I'm going to place this green over top like that. All right. I still need to do my little mountains. So we're going to do that. We're going to set that right on top of the green. Just like that. We're just kind of layering it. And I have this little piece here where we're going to stamp. I will always, and what does that say? I will always be here for you. So we'll stamp that. Another thing too, if you're new to paper pumpkin or you've never tried it and you are thinking about it, these little ink spots are great. Keep these because these are Stampin' Up! Colors. And granted, this one's leaving, but you can still use it. Just because it's leaving doesn't mean you can't use it. It's nice then to purchase like just the ink refill. So if you ever want to continue using it, but it's really nice. All right, so we have this little green mountain here too. And I'm going to, and I'll be posting these photos on my blog, not tomorrow because tomorrow's my weekly Wednesday and I always do a weekly Wednesday video, but I'll post them on Thursday. And along with this, I will show you a picture of how I store my ink spots as well. So I'll show you these 3 cards, plus the 2 that we're going to make with the free stamp set that came with it and the storage on how to do this. All right, so now we need to add some ribbon. This particular paper pumpkin box came with this gorgeous ribbon. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to pull a little of that out. And I'm going to use some strong stuff, which is my Stampin' Seal Plus. And I literally just kind of want to go across here because I'm going to angle this a little bit across like that. And then I'm going to kind of loop it and bring it back like that. And then I'm just going to trim that off because then I'm going to stamp this, or I already stamped this. Then I'm going to place this kind of right on the top. So let's go ahead and put my dimensional there. And then we'll add, so I'm just going to kind of go across it like this. And there's our third card. Okay, so let's bring our cards. I did have extra pieces too, so that's always nice. So now we have our 3 cards that we just made. So we have these pretty embellishments. We want to put some of those on there. So I'm going to take a big one here and I'm just going to kind of put that there. Put a small one right there. Cards that we just Oops. Made. So we have just turned on my computer to the volume and we don't want that, because there's a delay from me talking to you guys watching. And if I hear myself, it'll be delayed and that would be not good. All right. So there's that one. And then I'm just going to add, some more over here. You can add them wherever you want. You don't have to add them where they suggest or where what they do. That's the beauty of it. It's your paper pumpkin kit. You can do whatever you want with it. All right, so there's our 3 cards. Now remember, you'll make, in this kit, you make 3 of each, so that's 9 total. All right, so let's get to the good cards. I say that, I really do mean that too. Like, I really like the second set of cards more than the ones that came in this kit. All right, so let's get to this. So remember, we had this free stamp set that came with it. So these are the cards that I made. I made this card that says best wishes, and we're going to do the envelope too. And then I have this one here that says celebrate. So we're going to do this. All right. So, oh, Carla, you asked what time do I do my weekly Wednesdays? So my weekly Wednesdays actually come on my YouTube channel at 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, they're on my blog at 5 o'clock in the morning. So they usually, actually, I would say 7 o'clock Central Time is the time on YouTube. 5 o'clock on my blog. So it's kind of a different schedule. It's kind of weird, but all right. So let's go ahead and do these. So I added something, and I added this embossing folder. And for the sake of the video, I have already ran my Night of Navy through this embossing folder. It is the Ornate Floral 3D embossing folder. I'm going to miss this embossing folder. I'm not a huge flower person all the time, but when I find flowers that I like, this is one of them, and I use this a lot. I think this is a very pretty background. I'm going to bring it up a little bit higher, and I think it just makes for pretty cards. All right, so I have basic white cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5, and I have basic white thick. Whenever I'm making a card base out of very or basic white or very vanilla, I always use the thick. So I have my card base here, and let's go ahead and we'll do the top one here. So we're going to put this upright like this. Oh, nope. You know what? I'm sorry. We're not doing the top one. We're doing this one because this one has a different card base. All right. So we're doing this one first. So before I adhere this down, I need to bring out some of this mesh ribbon. I really like this mesh ribbon. It is carrying over, and I am glad to hear that. You can lay it flat. You can crinkle it up. I've also cut it in half. There's lots of things you can do with this, but it does add a little bit extra sparkle, and I think it's very pretty. So I'm going to just lay it flat like this. I'm going to flip it over like this, and I'm going to not use my Stampin' Seal Plus because that's too much, and I would probably rip my cardstock after I've already softened it by running it through an embossing folder. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this right there. And I don't need my green glue anymore, so let's get that out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to now place this flat onto my card base, leaving a white trim. And this piece measures at 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. All right. So now for the fun part. Let's decorate this. So I'm going to do celebrate first. I'm going to do that first. And I'm going to use Memento ink pad. And I'm also going to, because it is a photopolymer stamp, I'm going to grab my piercing mat because I want that little bit of a cushion. And I'm going to really ink this up. You can look at this sometimes and see that it's not fully jet black. I'm going to kind of, I hope you can see how the C right there is not fully jet black. I want this card to be like jet black like this. So I may have to do this a couple of times, but I'm going to put this in the left bottom corner, and I want to put it between the 2 stitches. All right, so I'm going to give it a little press. And there we go. Perfect. All right. So there's that part of it. So I'm going to set that aside. Now we want to do the flowers. So we have 2 stamp sets for the flowers in this free set. We have one that's like the full flowers, this 2-step stamping. And then we have the one that's the lining of it. So I'm going to use Night of Navy, but I want this to have a light and a dark look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp off. So I'm going to use the solid flower, and I'm just going to ink this up. And I do want to make sure that I'm inking all of it. So it's going to look really dark. And then I'm just going to stamp off on my grid paper over here because I want to make this part the lighter part. And then I'm going to just kind of angle it on my rectangle scalloped piece. And I'm going to go like that. Now this one, we're going to go over top. And because we want this to be dark, we're not going to stamp off. So I'm going to match this up, line this up just like this. And I'm going to stamp over that. There we go. See how now I have the light and the dark. I like that a lot. So we're going to do that. And then now we have to do our leaves. So I have two different greens here. I have Mossy Meadow, and then I have, what do I have? What is this? Pear Pizzazz. That's what I have. All right. So I have two leaves. One is one stamp, but it has two leaves. That's the one I'm going to do the lighter color on. So I'm going to bring in and do the lighter color like that. And I'm going to do one up here. I'm going to do one up here. And then I'm going to do one kind of off to the side over here. Okay. Then I have one that's just a one leaf. That's the one where I'm going to do it darker. And I'm using the pointy side of the leaf for inside up close to the flowers. And I'm just kind of going around to all of them. And that way I'm getting the two-tone color of the leaves. All right. So now I want to use my Wink of Stella. I love my Wink of Stella. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to color just the flowers in. And it's actually going to pull some of the ink. So there's little white spots from stamping, but it's actually going to pull some of that ink in. And it's going to soften it even more and give it a lighter color. So then it almost looks like it's three colors. And I like that. And I'm not going to do my leaves. I'm only doing my flowers. Okay. So we're going to let that dry for a minute. And while we let that dry, because we're going to flip it over and we're going to use dimensionals and pop that up. Before we do that, we're going to get out our envelope and let's stamp our envelope now. So I just want to do, the little bit of the corner right there. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to stamp off because I want it to be lighter. And I'm just going to do the big flower. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to take the lining of the flower, but I'm not going to stamp off again. Remember, we don't want to stamp off on this one because we want it to give it a light and a dark look. And then, of course, we're going to do our leaves. We're going to do our leaves over here. And then we're going to do the darker one to give it that two-tone. Okay, so there's our envelope. So now we'll flip this over and we'll use our dimensionals. And don't forget to put some in the center because you do not want, you don't want to have a saggy center. So we'll put these up like this. And then we will center this on our card. I love this card. It's not a hard card at all, but yet it's pretty. It packs a punch. So there's the card and there's the envelope. Very, very pretty. Now, I went ahead and I took these beautiful little rhinestones that came in this paper pumpkin kit. There are two sizes. There's the bigger rhinestone and the smaller rhinestone. So what I did is I took 3 of the bigger rhinestones and I put them in the center of the big flower. And then I took the smaller ones and I put them, well, actually I did one smaller on this small flower and one bigger one on this flower. So there you have it. Isn't that gorgeous? What a pretty card. Here, let me go backward. There we go. What a pretty card. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the same thing for this card. Only this one is not going to have the basic white card base. This one has Night of Navy base. So I decided to do tone on tone. So still same measurements, 5.5 by 8.5 score at 4.25. Now, because I'm not having a white inside, I'm going to need a white inside. So both the white inside and the first layer that I embossed already measure at the same, 4 by 5.25. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place this on the inside. I'm like a firm believer that you should always have, it doesn't matter if the cardstock is a lighter color like Blushing Bride or Soul Saffron. To me, you should still have like a white or a very vanilla on the inside. The reason why I'm like that is because, first of all, it makes the card a little bit more sturdier. But second of all, I just think it's better to write on those. All right, so I'm going to get my little mesh ribbon here. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to wrap it around, only I'm going to go this way, in this direction. So I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to use my Stampin' seal here. And I'm going to just fold that over like that. I'm going to do another one kind of in the center there. And I am going to place this flat to the card. And then we're going to do the same thing with this that we did with the other, only we're just going to have a different saying. We're going to use Best Wishes instead of Celebrate. So we're going to really ink that up with Memento. And you can definitely use black stays on too. Sometimes black stays on might even be, you can get that pretty dark. So maybe you like black stays on. I know I love the smell of black stays on. I think it has like one of the best smells ever. And I will totally admit that. All right, so now let's go ahead and we're going to do our flower. So again, we need to stamp off. We're going to ink that up. I'm going to push these down a little bit. We're going to stamp off. And I'm going to put my flower right there. Okay. Now we need to do the lines. Ink that up. And we're going to angle that like that so it goes right there. So now we have our light and our dark. And we are now done with the Misty Moonlight ink pad. Same with the Memento. So I'm actually going to put those away. And then we're going to do our leaves. So we're going to do a leaf here. And we're going to do a leaf here. You know, another thing that I thought of that would be very pretty is, and that with these cards or with this flower, you could make up a bunch of these like in the color of like somebody's wedding. So like if they're, let's say their wedding is Night of Navy, these would be really pretty to make the bride thank you cards to have for her to send out to, you know, people who come to her bridal shower or people who come to her bachelorette party. If they do that, I don't know if they do that with bachelorette parties, but it would be a nice gift to give a bride a bunch of thank you cards like that. All right, I'm missing my little, oh, here we go. My little leaf. That would be a great gift. And then have the flower the color of what color her wedding party is in. I mean, really, you could do this with anything. I just think this is really pretty. All right, so I'm done with all the ink pads now. So I'm going to get them out of the way before I stick my finger in it because that's me and I will totally do that. All right, so again, I want to, oh, you know what? We're not done. Technically, we have our envelope to still do. But right now, I'm going to still do my Wink of Stella. Well, we already did one envelope, so you guys know how to do it. We'll just, but there we go. We're going to do the Wink of Stella. And then I probably should have brought my Best Wishes down a little bit more. But that's okay. All right, so I'm going to take 3 of these and I'm going to put them in the center. And these are the larger ones. And then I'm going to take 1 of the larger ones and put that on the little bit larger flower. And then take 1 of the small ones and put it on that one. I'm going to flip this over and we're going to use dimensionals again to pop this up. And I actually, you know what, I'm gonna admit, I like this stamp set, the free stamp set, better than I liked the stamp set, the original stamp set for the paper pumpkin kit. Yep, I do. All right, so there it is with an envelope. So here it is. So we have that card, and then we have this card. Yay! I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you did, please, I would love for you to hit the like button. It definitely helps who sees it, the more the videos are liked. And if you're watching this on replay and you have any questions or anything, please let me know. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Thanks for joining me tonight. Sorry for the confusion, and I'll see you next week. Bye.